What's going on YouTube? It's Lewis of the Way It Kicks channel. How we doing out there? For most of you, I'm sure you're having a great day, but others probably still reeling right now because you thought you had a W on this sneaker right here, the Jordan 4 Bred Reimagined, only to find out your W was actually an L. And I want to say here, I'm very sorry this happened to you. It sucks. It's not a great feeling, especially on a sneaker that's been so hyped, and apparently there's so many pairs and you just wanted to get one pair and you thought you had it, and then unfortunately you really didn't have it. And then you see people out here flaunting the fact that they got 5, 6, 7, 10 pairs. You know what I mean? It sucks, guys. I know it does. And a lot of you don't have the ability, obviously, to go out and put footwork in. You have to rely on the raffle systems and trying to hit online to get a pair based on where it is you live. So I can understand from that fact that, you know, you go ahead, you take an L. It sucks. It definitely sucks. And I somewhat felt some despair, obviously, when I didn't initially hit on the shock drop. So I can only imagine how some of you feel. Now, a lot of you, I'm sure, have already moved on from the situation, but some people were really reaching out to me, asking me to talk about this and so what is really going on, and they had their theories. And me personally, I don't necessarily think it's an issue of backdooring. I think it's more so auditing the inventory that they had available to try to fulfill the orders, but I'm gonna talk about that here in a second. I wanted to say that the fact that JD Sport, Finish Line, Foot Locker, Snipes, and the Sneakers app all experience the same issues is rather odd in my opinion. And like I said, talking about the inventory issues that go on. Now, a lot of times when they get the shipments in, they probably scan them in, guys, and there's a manifest that comes with the order, and the manifest numbers is what goes into their system. So they think they have X amount of anything on hand, whether it be shirts, socks, hats, you name it. Now, in this case, with the Jordan 4 Bred Reimagined, each one of these websites believed to have a certain amount of pairs in whatever sizes they had available. So when you went and placed your order, the system said that they were attributing one of the pairs to you. Well, it's when they went to go fulfill the order that they found out that they actually don't have the inventory that they believe to actually have on hand. How does this happen? One is that they actually were not sent the amount of pairs they thought were sent. You have to understand though, when this stuff is put together, more than likely it's done by human beings. Until they actually go to fulfill the order and then they come up short, that's when a lot of times they realize that they don't have the amount that they said they have. The other situation that can occur is they actually did get those and somehow somebody was able to sneak off with maybe one or two, you know what I mean? But the amount of cancellations that actually went out per website tells me that the amount of inventory they thought they had was just not actually sent to them. Now, I know this sucks to hear and you're thinking to yourself, there's no way this happens in that manner, but I'm telling you, as someone who used to work in retail, this kind of thing happens all the time. You get a manifest in, tells you you're supposed to have X amount of items on there. When you actually go to do the count, that's when you find out what you really have on hand and what they actually sent you. So what does that mean moving forward? Well, when you think about the next upcoming shoe that's going to have a big release that a lot of people are going to be checking for, it's those Jordan 4 Military Blues, to where the timeline now has been moved up to April on those, the 27th, guys. And once again, they're going to be getting released at all your major retailers, even Dick's Sporting Goods. Now that is a whole other situation because a lot of the employees and store managers purposely misled people to A, not be able to put in for the raffle, or B, if they were able to put in for the raffle, they were misled as far as what the pickup time was. I could not tell you how many people told me that they actually missed out on getting their pair because they were either A, not even informed of the earlier pickup time that the store was going to do, or B, they were told to come back later, and then they come back later only to find out that, well, they moved up the timeline as to when they were giving out pairs, and now everything is gone. Those of you who experience these issues, I'm telling you, you guys need to collectively file complaints on behalf of yourselves about Dick's Sporting Goods. Contact the Better Business Bureau about them and submit some reports, and Dick's Sporting Goods will be moved at some point to do something about this because every store wants good ratings. And mind you, they have a partnership now with Nike. So if Dick's Sporting Goods starts getting bad publicity about Nike releases, what do you think is going to happen to that relationship? They're going to come down on Dicks and tell them, hey, you guys need to step up and change whatever is going on in here because this isn't a good look. And Nike is already fighting a bunch of battles as it is. And the last thing they need is bad publicity for themselves that's going to turn more people away from Jordan Brand and Nike. As far as a restock is concerned, that's another issue we got to talk about, because if you recall the Jordan 1 Lost and Founds, that whole issue that happened the day of release, especially with the sneakers at freezing and a lot of people not being able to get in, that's not as bad as what is happening here. Restock wise, we didn't get a restock on the Jordan 1 Lost and Founds until a whole year later. Now, I hope that doesn't happen with these guys, that we get something a lot sooner to give more people opportunities, especially to some of these other websites out here that somehow they get some, you know, inventory in. It's unfortunate to see a lot of the same people will continue to hit and hit and hit, and you know, maybe you got to resort to resale, or you go ahead and pass on to the next shoe. Now, one thing I can tell you is that, let's say you missed out on these Bred 4s. Well, if you're able to hit multiple pairs on the military blues, you can use one of them to probably go ahead and trade back for a Bred 4 Reimagined, guys. So that is one way to kind of work this stuff out if you have the money to do it, or it's definitely something to think about out there. But in any case, guys, please smash that like button for me. And if you are new to my channel, thank you for tapping in. Hit that subscriber button, click that notification bell, and guess what? I do have the giveaway pair in, guys, and I will be announcing that in an upcoming video. But in any case, this is Lewis of the Wear Your Kicks channel, reminding you to be true, stay in the moment, and don't forget, every day is a great day to wear your kicks.